it's Michaela and welcome back to my channel. I am currently sitting on the floor. I am 31 weeks pregnant and I'm just tired. For today's video, we are going to be talking about the infamous endometriosis. Oh goodness. Whew. Before we jump into what exactly endometriosis is, I want to start with the beginning of my journey. Hopefully this video will be somewhat informative for people who don't know what it is, and also to act as a guide for people who might need help and don't even know it. So, to get started, my endometriosis journey started about my senior year of high school. Nothing was unusual besides that when I was on my cycle, I noticed that my cramps were a bit more harsh than those around me. And some of my friends didn't even have cramps at all, which was bizarre to me. And me, I'm like, help me, help, it hurts. And I didn't know it was not supposed to hurt that bad. When I first started to notice, like, you know, my periods kind of hurt. From there, we jump ahead to about my junior year of college, and this is when I started to notice things escalate. My period became more intense. They were strong, they were long. I'd have a period for like 2 weeks. And also this is when I started to notice that the pain would go outside of the bounds of my period, you know, off and on every day, even when I'm, you know, wasn't on my cycle. And that was beginning to be very strange for me. I tried Midol, Tylenol, Excedrin. I tried all of the over-the-counter meds. I tried heating pads. Nothing was working. I was just getting more and more paranoid. I was getting very sad. I didn't know where to turn because there was no one I could relate to. Every time I'd call someone to complain, or if they wanted to hang out with me, I'm like, I can't, I hurt so bad. They did not understand. And I didn't even understand myself, so it was hard to cope with what was going on. And at the time, endometriosis wasn't something that was commonly talked about. I didn't know if there was anything just medically wrong with me. I thought I just couldn't handle the pain. So I would just try. I would try my hardest. I really try. And it just wasn't working anymore. It turned from every other day of excruciating pain to every day. And then when I was on my cycle, I was at a 10 in the pain scale, and every day that I wasn't on my cycle, I was still reaching a 7 or an 8. Finally, I've had enough. I've had enough of being in pain, not knowing what to do, not knowing where to turn. So then I finally decided to visit my OBGYN. I don't know why it took me that long to finally realize I should probably seek some help, but I did. Visited the doctor finally, and I told her all of my symptoms. I told her about my painful periods, how I would travel outside of my periods, how I was in excruciating pain every day, you know, where it was and how intense. So with all the information that I gave her, she was able to tell me that it sounded like I have something called endometriosis, a word I've never heard before. Now, obviously, I'm not a medical doctor by any means, but I'm going to try to explain what it is without being overly complicated. So you have tissues that grow inside of your uterus. And when you have endometriosis, those tissues start to grow outside of your uterus and start to attach to different organs like your fallopian tubes, your ovaries, your bowels, just all over the place. Now, this isn't just a fun game of connect the dots that your body is playing with you. When you have something foreign happening in your body, it hurts. So when she told me about it and told me the definition of it and how it leads to chronic pain because you have all of these lesions and scar tissue everywhere affecting your body, I was like, okay, fix me. Now the thing about this illness is you can't tell someone that they have it for sure unless you have surgery. And that is a big word. Surgery. This surgery that they do for endometriosis patients is called a laparoscopy. It's called a laparoscopy. The thing about this surgery is that they go in and look for scar tissue lesions, proof of endometriosis growth. Now, sometimes they're able to remove those lesions and scar tissue using lasers. Sometimes your scar tissue and lesions are attached to other important things in your body that they won't touch it. So they could go in and greatly help you, or they could go in, see that you have it, and they can't really do anything about it. Ultimately, I did decide to have the surgery because I was in so much pain. It was very scary going in. It was my first surgery ever. After the surgery, they were able to show me pictures and documentations of what they found. I was one of the unlucky ones who, yes, they found a ton of lesions, scar tissue, and endometriosis growths all over my reproductive system and on my bowels. Because of this, they weren't able to remove anything. They were able to do some snippets here and there, but no, all of my lesions are still there from before the surgery and then some. So when they told me this information, it was sort of like, on one hand, I'm so excited that you found what's wrong with me, and then on the other hand, it's, well, great, you couldn't remove any of it. Now what? What made matters worse is that my body couldn't handle the surgery. What me and my doctors came up with is that I was already in so much pain and my body was under so much stress already that the surgery sort of just threw me off of the edge. So not only do I still have the pain from before, I have more pain because of the surgery. They decided what stage of endometriosis I had. Now, endometriosis has stage 1 through 4. 1 being probably mild discomfort, you know, you have some things here and there, maybe some painful periods, and you know, it's not really affecting your life all that much. Stage 4 is when everything is so bad you probably end up having to have a hysterectomy as soon as possible. For me, they concluded that I had between stage 3 and 4. So yes, I was going to be dealing with pain for the rest of my life, but it wasn't something that they immediately had to go in and scoop everything out for. Alright, so no cure. What do? You basically do pain management as best as you can. My purse and my nightstand had so many pills I looked like a drug dealer. What they gave me to start with: hydro, I had oxy, I had tramadol, and those 3 are opioids. So I had these opioid medications, and then I also had medications that were specific for endometriosis. Now these medications sort of worked like a birth control. It would stop my hormones from operating to their full capacity so I wouldn't grow any more scar tissue outside of my uterus. The thing with endometriosis is when you have a cycle, more growths are being pumped into your body. So I had naproxen, I had northindrone, other medications for pain management. They would sort of get me through the day, but I was still in constant pain. That's the next step: injections and hormone therapy. Insert menopause. So there's an injection that actually halts your cycle and sends you into menopause because you don't have a cycle anymore. When I was on those injections, my pain didn't really stop. So this is my journey, and this is what worked and didn't work for me. So it's not like people who took medications, it wouldn't work for them, or took these injections and it wouldn't work for them. It just didn't work for me. They recommended short-term nerve blocks in my spine and things like that, and it just didn't sound good for me. Nothing short-term. No, if something's gonna be affecting me the rest of my life, I don't want to be shot in the back every few months for $900 a shot. Like, what do I look like, Money McGee? This back and forth thing goes on for a very long time. I was in school to be a teacher, and I had a major surgery right before the end of the semester, right before I was supposed to go to student teaching, and I basically had to put a lot of things on hold to get better. Having an invisible illness is hard. Even right now, I look like I'm fine, but I am not fine. I am hurting a lot, and it's so easy for people to forget, even if they are really close to you and know you. I'm not gonna walk into a room and be like, hey guys, I have endometriosis, I'm in a lot of pain, but let's have some fun. It is now 2020 and I am 31 weeks pregnant, as you know, and I'm still hurting. Okay, so now I want to be able to give some advice for people who may not know that they have this illness. Pay attention to your body. Pay attention to your symptoms. In most cases, what you're going to deal with is pelvic pain. Periods are not supposed to feel like you're getting hit by a car. Now, it may not be endometriosis. It could be PCOS. It could be a ton of different reproductive things that are going on, and these can get worse over time, like with me. My senior year of high school, it hurt, but by the time I was a junior in college, I was almost crying every day. There are also other symptoms like pain with bowel movement, pain during or after sex, heavy periods, spotting or bleeding in between periods, and lack of energy. Please don't be like me and wait years later to find out. I feel like if I would have went in and got seen sooner, my scar tissue and lesions wouldn't have been as bad as they were years later. Maybe they would have been able to take some off. Maybe I would have been able to start on the hormone injection sooner and being able to help. There's a lot of maybes, a lot of what ifs, but my suggestion to you is to get help as soon as possible. Also, trust yourself. If you are in pain and no one is listening to you, demand to be heard. Don't let people downplay what you are going through. They have no idea. This is where having a support system becomes very, very important. Having a strong support system of people who understand and who love and support you in your decisions what to do with your body are going to be a tremendous help. Another thing I will say is that if you do get diagnosed with endometriosis, is to try your hardest to not become your illness. Find ways to help you cope besides medication, and someone that will make you think of other things besides the pain. Hopefully this video was able to give you more insight into what endometriosis actually is. If you need a support system, hey, I'm here for you. Know someone who has endometriosis, another reproductive issue, or just another invisible illness, reach out to them. Let them know that you are here to support them. Alright guys, in my next video I will be talking more about endometriosis and how it contributed to infertility while I was trying to get pregnant. I hope to see you next time, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment about what you think. But that does not mean that if I stop focusing But that does not mean if I stop focusing on spook